Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. There's been some breaking news about the Yellow Trucking Company, which we all knew they were probably about to be kaput. And it turns out they are. I'm going to get into it and some of the implications. You can expect a few things from this. Let me get into it. They handled an average of about 49,000 shipments per day in 2022. 49,000, humongous outfit. That went down to 10,000 and 15,000 daily shipments. So they've been dying off. Even if Yellow was able to sell its logistics firm, it would not generate enough sufficient amount of cash to keep the operation on any sort of permanent basis. So they're done without a major equity injection. Now, do you think the government's going to prop these people up? I don't know. You never know what they're going to do. But that's how they got there in the first place. How much debt do they have? Well, as of late March, Yellow had an outstanding debt of 1.5 billion. Of that, 729 million was owed to the federal government. They were getting all of the PPP and they were getting all that and more, I'm sure. But see, that's what happens. We don't have a free market. They pick who wins and who dies. The free market would have sorted this out a long time ago, but it's not the world we live in. In 2020, under the Trump administration, the Treasury Department granted the company $700 million in pandemic era loans on national security grounds. So why wouldn't they revisit if it has to do with national security? Do you think they're going to revisit and try to bail them out? Treasury and Defense Department said they made missteps in this decision and noted that Yellow's precarious financial position at the time of the loan and continued struggles exposed taxpayers to significant risk loss. So the taxpayers get to bail them out, and then they fail anyway. This is like the BUBI, the Bank Universal Basic Income. Are we going to have some people like Yellow that the government operates? I think so in the future. I think the government is going to own more and more of these businesses because we can't let them go belly up. If we let them fail, then how are people going to get their stuff? This is a big deal. The economy's already about to collapse. We can't let that go. We can't let that bank fail, bail them out. This is how governments end up spending too much money that they print out of thin air when they're the reserve currency. And this will end, whether they like it or not. They think they've got all the tools, and they've got little. Now, I wrote down some potential implications, but first, this could be the fourth bankruptcy in the United States this year, following the bankruptcies of Caledon Group, J.B. Hunt Transport, and YRC Worldwide. So we're already seeing them fold up. But I got some potential implications that will happen, actually. There will be a reduction in available trucking. This could lead to increased competition among remaining trucking companies for the available freight. Yeah, sure, let the free market deal with it. But it might drive up freight, supply and demand. They've got more demand with less supply of delivery. So this is par for the course. So expect higher freight rates. The impact on supply chains. The supply chains hasn't recovered from all the slack it got in it. See what happened in the Woohoo Bat Flu? It got snatched, and then there gets a bunch of slack, and it's like pulling a truck. They're having trouble. It's whipsaw, and it's the supply chain's fragile as it is. Yellow Corp's bankruptcy could disrupt supply chains that rely on its services that could result in delays in delivering goods. increased costs for business. I can't read my writing. And potential shortages of essential products that we have to have. That'd make you think of an emergency by the Biden administration or even the Trump. Hey, Trump bailed them out too. But look, the government has no business bailing anybody out. You know, it's who didn't know this was going to happen? You can't stop it. Bubbles pop. The more you blow it up, the bigger it goes. Boom, like the one that you saw go off the other day up in the tree. I might have to do that again. That was fun. Job losses. 30,000 people are about to lose their job. But it goes further than that. This would not only impact the affected employees, but their families, and it would also contribute to the overall unemployment rates. Wait a minute, they're supposed to be so good. I got some quotes from Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell. They're saying the same stuff they were saying back in 2007. The economy's fine. We're doing good. Don't worry about it. You know, Jim Cramer, bye, 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 when Bear Stearns was heading down the gutter. The ripple effect on other industries. The trucking industry plays a crucial role in supporting various sectors of the economy. That would make you think of some kind of emergency bailout. Manufacturing, retail, agricultural, any disruption or instability within the trucking industry would have a ripple effect. Production delays, inventory shortages, higher prices, all those things that we've already talked about. The trucking industry has already seen several bankruptcies this year, and it may further accelerate the trend. So there's a trend, trucking companies and banks. That's the thing. Whew. But they're consolidating, guys. They're the bigger companies that the government likes more will just absorb this trucking company and, will continue into dystopia. That's about it for Yellow. They put a sign on their door that said, "We're sorry, we're done." That's it. It's over. I'm sure they'll have to liquidate their assets to try to pay what they can towards the pension holders. Or maybe the government will bail them out too. That's what we do. We bail out. Okay, next. I'll save that for later. This is a bigger story, actually, as far as an imminent recession coming, or possibly depression. By the time we get there, it'll be called depression. Or should be, anyway. Big drop in cardboard box sales. This screams recession. Just like the community member, I had 2 or 3 of them that worked at or their family owned a pallet company. Pallets are a major indicator, and they said it has not been this slow since 2008. Ding, ding, ding. Did you see the picture on the thumbnail? I was pointing to a dead tree. Well, those of you that are familiar with that tree was there when I built my pond. The pond flooded it. It's about 6 inches underwater all the time. I know it will die, but it took a long time. It's called the economic tree of doom. And if you look at the thumbnail, all the leaves are brown, and the economic tree of doom is actually on its way out. It's just about history. Just a few weeks ago, Janet Yellen said that while economic growth has slowed, quote, "Our labor market continues to be strong. I don't expect a recession." And at the same time, you've got Jerome Powell said, "Given the resilience of the economy recently, there are no longer forecasting a recession." We're all in the clear, guys. There's nothing going on. Hey, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about those banks. You just do your thing. Don't forget, eat bugs. They're better for you and they're healthy. In fact, with much stronger than expected second quarter GDP growth, they manipulate it. It's garbage. It's like the CPI. They just, push some numbers in one direction or another, and everything looks okay on paper. But you guys know. Are you starting to see cracks in the economy around you? Please put it in the comments what you're seeing. What are you noticing? Just as you're driving by and seeing things, just take note. How many cars are in the used car parking lot? How much are they? How many for sale signs are in the yards? Real estate's the slowest one. That's like the slowest moving asset on the planet. So by the time we get to the real estate, it should look pretty gnarly. Right now, people that are locked in on low interest, I don't blame you. I wouldn't sell. But some people have to. That's the thing. That's what causes it. And then that one house sells off for cheaper. Another one in the neighborhood sells off. And it's just a cascade. And prices will go lower. Nothing goes up forever. But back to the boxes. Wait a minute. Artificially low interest rate and quantitative easing was, that's how we stay propped up. But remember, everybody thought the economy was fine in 2007, even though the housing market had cracked. So this isn't the housing market this time. It's actually the banks, trucking, and other things that are starting to crack. The big box plunge, the plunging cardboard boxes. Try to stop thinking about just cardboard boxes. Think about box paper, everything that we use for goods to be delivered. The Packing Corporation of America reported that cardboard box sales fell 9.8% in the second quarter. Combined it with the first quarter, which had a 12.1% drop, it's the biggest that's ever been recorded. It's the biggest drop in 6 months on record. That is a massive indicator. According to a report by FreightWaves, the combined 6-month decline ranks the biggest plunge since nearly 2009. So we got two people saying, "Hey, look, this is happening." What do cardboard box sales have to do with the economy? Stop and think about it. Stuff gets shipped in boxes. Everything from raw materials to final products arriving at your doors packed in boxes. Everything. We know that. An indicator of real economic activity. It's the production, the buying, and the selling. It all has to do with cardboard boxes. FreightWaves also said there isn't anything indicating the sales of the cardboard boxes will increase anytime soon. So this is we've made the corner. Now we're in the descent to the Thunderdome. The box barometer. This is a big thing. I mean, they saw it in 2007, 2008. Now they're calling it the box barometer is flashing worry, and that metric seems a whole lot more connected to reality than the numbers pumped out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's a lot like the charts I'm learning to read. Everything's divorced from reality. I'm done investing with logic. That does not work anymore. Maybe it hadn't for a long time, but now we're starting to see pallets and boxes fall off a cliff. The next story is about CVS. CVS Health plans to axe 5,000 jobs in once-in-a-generation transformation. The first half of 23 was euphoric. Stocks soared to near all-time highs, and we might not be done. We might still see the stock market going straight up. The hype about Bidenomics sparked new hopes about economic revival, just like they're trying to do now. But the latest evidence of cost cutting due to mounting macroeconomic uncertainty is reported that they're going to lay off just 5,000 people. The company, this is a quote, the company on Monday said in a statement that the jobs affected are primarily corporate positions. I've been noticing that white collars are starting to have a harder time finding another job, more so than that blue collar, that guy that can actually produce something. CVS said it doesn't expect customer-oriented roles in stores, pharmacies, and clinics to be affected in the layoff, so they're just laying off, the staff. And why wouldn't you? They got AI that can do most of that. In a memo to staff, the CEO said the layoffs would allow CVS to be at the forefront of a once-in-a-generation transformation in healthcare. So this is all the AI buzz. This is the start of AI taking jobs. And it's the people that are, analysts and those guys. It's not so much the actual employees, which that'll be eventually. They'll whittle that down too. They've already got robots delivering food at restaurants. That's a job gone. They've got several different things that are gonna, and they're already talking about UBI. You're gonna have to have UBI to make it. If your truck drives itself, there's no need for truck drivers. And we're a little ways from that. Don't get me wrong, but this is the start. At the end of 22, CBS reported over 300,000 workers in the U.S. Most layoffs expected to be in corporate. So that's about it. CVS bought Signify Health, a home care health firm, for $8 billion. Also, CVS is expected to release its quarterly earnings report on Wednesday. So I'll be looking for that. Not that I think they're going to do much. So, guys, get ready. We are getting very, very close. That's the end of the news. Now I'm going to get into the comments and see if you guys got anything to add. Yeah, sorry about that, MNJ. I treated this live just like a video, try to give it real quick. And then at the end of these videos, I'll go back and read some comments. That way people can get the news and get on with their day. Shielded Preppers here. And I got my camera on the wrong side. Oil supply is way down in the refined and transport. Yeah, I don't know why they don't go ahead and refill that thing. They're waiting for prices to come way down. And they, to some degree, have the power to run them down, to push them down. Keep in mind, this is all part of it. All these businesses collapsing. This is, that you don't think they knew better when they gave them a bunch of free money that they were going to be in the same shape later on? They knew the business was broken. I mean, if you had a business, it's a lot like a business I have, actually, that it didn't get paid for a long time. It was approaching where it was just broke. That business was broke. But I would never take from another business and put in there. That's how you go bankrupt. So that business either lives or it dies. Then you'll sort that out and do something else. But you never buy. It's like these big banks buying these banks that are insolvent. You can only do that if you're friends with the people that create the money. So kind of keep that in mind. And this is all a big plan, guys. This is the collapse that's going to make assets really cheap for the few to really mop up. And some of us, or mostly all of us, I hope, are going to have the opportunity to buy assets at literally 2008 prices, 2009, 2010. That's the people I learned from when I started getting into the rental property business. And those guys knocked it out of the park because they bought so low, so cheap. Now we do have this government intervention that you just can't outguess. You can't outguess the Fed. Don't fight the Fed. So hopefully what I kind of figure is going to happen is they're going to have this crash, buy a few assets, pump the stock market up, and then later on we'll really have the humdinger. I think this first one's going to be a little dead cat bounce, and then who knows when. I don't have time. Nobody does. They're consistently wrong. But that's it. We got the UN too. The UN really wants to buy land. China has really bought up a lot of land in the United States. And NATO is at war with the BRICS. The BRICS creating the new currency, and you can't really deny how we've been sold down the river. And it would make sense to cause death from within. And the politicians that are for these outlandish things that is not going to work, we know for sure what is going to happen when they implement the wrong thing, just like the border, just like, all the other things that they do. They make the wrong decision 100% of the time. And it's on purpose. It's on purpose to buy up all the assets, even Bitcoin, all that stuff, gold, silver. I think it's all going to go down eventually. Will you be able to find it? I don't know. I think we're going to have a massive pullback in every asset class. Yeah, some things might do good, I'm sure, but uh, and it looks like we're getting close. That's why I keep saying patience. Just have patience and wait. I'm looking at the stock market. There's double top on S&P 500. It's looking really toppy, and I'm hoping to buy, sell up there, and hopefully ride it down. Worked on a little bit this morning, but we're not quite there yet. And there's no telling what kind of news they can say to run the price back up. And they're going to do that till the end, because if the stock market goes down, the pensions don't get paid. Because remember, all that's wrapped up in the stock market. They don't really actually have your money to pay your pension. They have to gamble with it in the stock market and make a certain percentage. So it was 7.5%. I don't know what it is now. But as you know, they're going to do their best to keep it. The plunge protection team will be in place. That's a real thing. They started that in the 1980s. Group of people they don't like to talk about that pumps up the stock market when it has a big dip. They'll halt trading and then they'll go in there and push it up. You've seen it. We saw it in the last crash. They would boom and then it would whoop, and they're going to do their best to manipulate it. And hopefully we can take advantage of both ways. Thank you for the super chat. Love the content. Keep up the great work. Hoping to make the Red Pill convention. Oh man, it went away. Meet you and some other great people. You will, if you make it to Iowa to the Red Pill event, you will take something away. The last one I went to was great, just because I learned about the woohoo bat flu as it was getting here, and I say that in everything, but it was every live stream. But it was really eye opening, and you're gonna learn something like that. I'm not sure what, but you're also going to meet somebody that will more than likely be your friend that you can depend on, like a real friend. Those are hard to come by. But when you start getting community members together and you're all like-minded and you can trust each other, that's where you make those relationships that last a lifetime. I mean, look at Bud and the Economic Ninja and the Shielded Prepper. We're friends, and we'll be friends for a long, long, long time. And that's where I met them at meetups, just like that, just like the Silver Symposium in Vegas, September 30 weekend. That is also in the description. I'll put both those links. I'll actually pin it in the comments as soon as this video uploads. That way you guys can, maybe show up, meet some like-minded people. Guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.